are there times where you wish you weren't a steward?
Yesterday evening. I think, wow, that was way too easy, right? No, but just to clarify, we had a rookie Wednesday race last night on Imola. Highlights are on YouTube, as you said before. And there were a total of 66 incidents.
Wow.
And we had quite a lot of them that need to be reviewed as well. Because just to explain a little bit on how we do things, we have AC race control, which basically registers all the collisions that are going on during a race or qualifying. And from there on, we can automatically check the replay. It's about 10-ish seconds, 10, 12. And in that short time, we decide whether it's a penalty or not. And if we are not sure, then somebody else is checking the replay to see the full incident and who can go backwards and stuff, speed up things, slow down things, change cars, perspectives, etc., etc. And yesterday we had quite a lot of incidents that just need to be reviewed before we could apply the penalty. So basically it meant that even though we were with 5 stewards, we still had to apply penalties like an hour after the race. Because there was so much to be reviewed. So those are the moments that you are like, well, I might have reconsider my position now. But then again, I mean, I think 2 weeks ago there was another rookie league race, which was pretty clean, where we only had like 7 or 8 incidents, you know. So and there were just really small incidents, like small taps while overtaking, those kind of things. So yeah, and those are the times that you are really enjoying it, because you see that people are trying their best to race clean, knowing that if they don't do it, they receive a penalty, obviously, but also because it adds more fun if you are capable of defending clean or overtaking in a clean way. I mean, there's not much more joy in sim racing than being able to do that.
Yeah, to be able to battle side by side with someone going into corners where you're giving each other enough room is a great feeling. When if you have, 5 stewards, is one dedicated to reviewing the incident? Is one dedicated to doing another job? Or is it a case of one steward will just pick up the first, second steward will pick up the second incident and just work from there?
No, so the software we use, they log all the context, like I said before, and we have a spreadsheet in Google that basically show all the context and the replay times and stuff. So what we have, like yesterday, we had one steward that was mainly focused on the race server and applying the penalties on the server. And in the same time, just checking quickly whether an incident needs to be reviewed or not. Then the other 2, they were so basically Hayden was also reviewing quickly incidents and sometimes applying penalties. So was Mr. Stevens. He was mainly with me checking replays and applying what he thought would be the appropriate penalty. And then I actually double check all the given penalties, and that's not necessarily because I'm the head steward, but it's mainly because when you give a penalty to a driver for some incident, you just want to be sure that it's 99% sure that the person deserves that penalty. Because it can, of course, be highly demotivated to receive a penalty. And for example, yesterday we gave somebody like 20-ish, 25 seconds of penalties, and he immediately stopped racing. And after the race we had a good talk, and he understands why we did what we did. But like you said, it's always a bit demotivating when you receive that amount of penalties. Especially when the field is very competitive, because then, even though you finish first, you probably end up like 18th, maybe 20th. So
yeah, absolutely.
So that's why we try to make sure that there's always a 4-eye principle with handing out time penalties.
Yeah. And do you ever have a situation where several of the stewards don't agree with each other on something?
Yeah, we had last weekend actually.
Yeah.
Last weekend there was a crash on during the Indy race. I think it was for the September showdown.
Yep.
There was a crash on the main straight between two cars. And it was a very unnecessary crash.
Yep.
And there were so many events going on during the crash, but also just before the crash, like missing gear shifts, moving to the right. Well, there wasn't that much space, but because missing the gear shifts, you know, decreasing speed and stuff, there was suddenly a collision, and it was so hard to judge that it actually took us like half an hour before we could come up with some sort of agreeable
solution to the whole thing.
Solution, yeah. I mean, so it happens, and we always try to look incidents from different perspectives.
Yep.
And stuff.
And so that's interesting. So you look at the inputs on the steering wheel and brakes as well when you're looking at an incident.
Yeah, we're looking at inputs, indeed, of steering wheel, brake, throttle, but also, for example, you know, some people are using cockpit view, some people are using the helm cam.
Yep.
So what can you see in the car, in the mirrors and stuff? I mean, we never have all the data available.
Yeah.
That the driver has, because you know, in AC you have the radar as well.
Yeah.
Which we can't see in the replay.
Sure.
So we try to include as much of possible information to make a decision regarding an incident.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's good to hear as well. I think it would be quite boring if all the stewards completely agreed with everything that each other were saying. And how do you differentiate between a sim racer and being a steward when it comes to situations where you think, if I was them, I probably would have done the same, but then you look at it with the steward hat on and go, no, that you shouldn't have done that. Is there any conflict you ever feel when you're looking at things?
Yes, there is sometimes, but sometimes there's also a conflict between myself and the other stewards for this reason, actually. Because you know, you have to keep in mind that we're all human and we're all racing ourselves, and we all have a different different pace on track, and I strongly believe that I'm one of the faster guys. Whether I'm not, whether I am or not, that's up to others to decide. But I'm not a slow guy. Let's put it like that. Yeah. Well, but that means that you are looking to corners, apex speeds, where the apex is, and those kind of things. You look at it from a different perspective than somebody that is, let's say, 4 or 5 seconds slower than you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes you have, well, not conflict, but you have an argument at least about whether somebody is making a dirty overtake, whether it's a dive bomb or not.
Yeah.
I mean. And from there on, you try to learn from each other's perspective and say, okay, is this a penalty, yes or no? And why should it be a penalty, yes or no? And that's really tough, but it's mainly because, you know, for example, Pateron on Spa.
Yep.
You know, depending on the car you're driving, the apex speed can be between 160-ish up to 170-ish.
Yep.
Which can still be a big difference if you are overtaking in that corner, you know, and who's at fault then? Yeah. And somebody that is slower will judge that, judge the situation differently than I would probably.
Absolutely. And that is a really good point of view to look at. Do you have any pet hates when you see incidents coming in? Is there like one particular move or one particular thing that just annoys you?
Yeah,
spill the beans.
Well, Hayden was like, "You can't put that on the spreadsheet, mate." I I mean, I'm really against stupid dive bombs. Like absolute people sending it from maybe 6, 7, 8 meters away.
Yeah.
Well, the car in front's already turning into the apex, and I really hate it, but it's for two reasons. First of all, you ruin the race of the person in front of you by tapping him.
Yep.
And second of all, most of the time you cause him to have damage as well, which loses him extra time.
Yep.
Even though sometimes it's only like body damage, or it's not that bad. But for some people, the mental aspect of having damage on the car makes them already a second or something slower in the lap.
Yep, absolutely.
So dive bombing is really one of the things I hate the most. So yesterday I was on the spreadsheet. I was writing up penalties. I wrote down 20-second penalty for a stupid dive bomb or something like that, And it was like, you can't put it there, but I can't copy this into the Discord. I was like, yeah, fair enough.
They should maybe have two spreadsheets and have somebody filter out your spreadsheet to what goes on to Discord then.
I think I need an assistant who goes through all the things I write down in the spreadsheet.
Oh dear, yeah. I mean, the life of a steward, you're not going to. The thing is, if something's getting sent to the steward, it's because someone's done something wrong. So there's no way you're going to please probably anybody, unless it is like a dive bomb, and as you say, the driver then gets a penalty for it. Do you think that there's anything you're hoping for, especially with the new version of ACC hopefully coming out at some point? Is there anything in particular you're hoping that they add that's going to make your life any easier?
That's a good question, actually. Not in particular, at least not at the moment, because I think we have enough options to maintain the things that are going on. Although maybe integrate something like crew chief for the drivers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they get they receive call-outs that the car's to the right or to the left or something like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just to help them out a little bit more, because not everybody can afford triple monitors or VR or whatsoever.
Yeah.
So especially for those that are doing single screen racing, to just help them out. But for me as a steward, there's not much more that I need at the moment, at least.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I have learned actually quite a lot today, which is going to help me in the future races as well, to be able to give a perspective from the steward's point of view rather than just trying to guess or glaze over things. So I have really enjoyed chatting with you, Arnold, and I thank you so much for your time. And I'll speak to you very soon.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the opportunity and for having the fun conversation.
No problem at all. No problem at all. You go back to your spreadsheets now.
Yeah, will do. I have some appeals to handle, so that's not even a joke. So.
Oh no. Oh man. Well, if you have enjoyed our chat today, don't forget that we've had Hayden. We've got 2 parts to Hayden. There's going to be 2 parts to Arnold, and then we're going to have Owen, who's the driver coach. We're going to have Airy, who is the steward, but also a livery designer, and then you might actually be introduced to all 3 commentators as well very soon. So if you are enjoying it, please make sure you're following the channel. We are on Spotify, we're on YouTube podcasts, and make sure you follow for the next one. So till next time, thank you very much, take care, bye bye.